It's Friday, the 14th of November, 2025. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories to race through in 5 minutes. Let's get cracking with story number 1. Hopes of a rate cut over the next 6 months have nosedived after the unemployment rate fell to 4.3% last month, adding to evidence that inflation pressures remain in the Australian economy.
The drop in the jobless rate from 4.5% in September to 4.3% in October came after the number of employed people rose by 42,000. Now, there was a huge 55,000 jump in full-time employees. Part-time workers fell by 13,000. The participation rate, basically the percentage of working Australians in the labour force, held steady at 67%. The Reserve Bank has consistently warned that it felt the labour market remained tight. Well, looks like that's the case. The central bank keeps saying fewer workers are being laid off, more people are voluntarily quitting their jobs to take up other employment, and there's less underemployment. Looks like they've been vindicated, and its decision, or the Reserve Bank's decision not to cut interest rates at its board meeting early in the month, was the right one.
How did financial markets react to the news?
Well, bond markets reflect interest rate expectations. Before yesterday's data, the local market had priced in a better than 50-60% chance of a rate cut by the middle of next year. After the ABS release, that fell to about 20-30%. The local bourse took a dive on the news. The S&P ASX 200 fell 1%. It paired some of those losses later in the day. Aussie dollar jumped to a 65.6 US cents. Federal Treasurer Jim Chalmers was pretty happy. He said it was a very positive result, and Australia is one of the few countries around the world that's kept people in jobs in the face of global uncertainty. That 4.3% number is tracking close to the Reserve Bank's forecast. Whilst the labour market is probably slowing, it's probably not doing enough for the Reserve Bank to cut interest rates.
On to story number 2 now. The Coalition would repeal Australia's near and long-term climate targets from legislation if it returns to government.
Opposition leader Susan Lee confirmed that the Liberal Party will abandon its policy commitment to achieve net zero emissions by 2050, joining coalition partner the Nationals. Senior Liberals, after a 3-hour meeting yesterday morning, agreed to remain in the Paris Agreement if elected and would set interim emission reduction targets, but the Libs wouldn't commit Australia to any long-term aspiration to reach net zero. Of course, this is all if they're elected. Yesterday, Lee said Australians deserve affordable energy and responsible emissions reduction, and the Liberal Party could do both without net zero commitments. The next step is for the Libs and Nats to negotiate a shared position on climate change. That's scheduled to occur over the weekend.
Story number 3. How about this one, Sean? A Sydney woman who claimed to be a fortune teller and feng shui master and her daughter have been charged over an alleged $70 million fraud and money laundering scheme.
Incredible story. Police said the pair duped vulnerable clients into taking out large loans based on false predictions that they'll soon meet a billionaire. The woman allegedly pocketed the proceeds through a sophisticated network of fake companies and bank accounts. Officers seized luxury goods and gold bars, casino chips, worth about $13 million in the pair's home. It's part of an investigation into a broader syndicate by Strikeforce Middleton, set up to investigate a criminal group allegedly using stolen identities to get loans for ghost cars.
This is story number 4, a couple in northern New South Wales, Sean, has paid $1 for a house located on the floodplains of Lismore.
Yes, I'd say this would be one of the cheaper homes we've discussed.
Yep.
11 properties sold at the auction this week at Murwillumbah RSL. 4 homes sold for $5 each, another for $200. In fact, the couple that bought the $200 house used it. They used to rent it. They went to the RSL to see what it would go for. They ended up owning it. It's part of the New South Wales government's buyback scheme for flood-affected housing. The government has purchased the homes and land, and basically they're just selling the houses. So the catch is the buyers must sort of cut the houses in half, load them on a truck, re-stump them on their own land. Then they probably need to put them together, renovate, whatever. That's probably $100,000 plus renovation costs, though that is cheaper, Michael, than sort of the $400,000 new build cost.
I suspect so. Last one, story number 5, the very last penny in the US, worth 1 cent, of course, has been minted after President Donald Trump ordered the coin discontinued earlier this year.
While the penny will remain legal tender, it won't be manufactured anymore. There are over 300 billion pennies in circulation. That's $3 billion worth of pennies. The public have been encouraged to keep using them. Some retailers are worried that the discontinuation of the penny will lead to confusion in stores. Some outlets have started to round cash purchases up or down already. We did this about 20 years ago. Retailers want Congress to authorise rounding up of prices. Otherwise, they're going to run into all sorts of state and local law issues. But the last time the US discontinued a currency, Michael, 1857, when the half cent, which I didn't know had existed, the half cent was discontinued.
It's a great story. All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Friday, the 14th of November, 2025. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. Or head along to our website as well, fearandgreed.com.au, and sign up for our free daily newsletter. I'll put a link in today's show notes. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.